How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. As we're just a couple weeks away till the year 2020, one of the biggest storylines this season, Luka Doncic taking over the NBA, potentially becoming the youngest ever in winning MVP. Before he was drafted, a lot of people were sleeping on him. Now the whole world's paying attention. A bunch of role players this season who's playing amazing basketball have not been talked about. So with that said, here are 8 NBA star players who are still heavily being slept on.
Domantas Sabonis of the Indiana Pacers. The 23-year-old has been nothing short of sensational. Through 22 games, being the full-time starting center, the 6'11" big man is averaging over 18 points, 13 rebounds, almost 4 assists on well over 50% shooting. One of the best players on a quiet Pacers team. If he doesn't become an all-star this season, it'll only be a matter of time until he becomes one. In his 4th year, getting a 4-year $77 million extension seems very low. Compared to the other good players in his class, getting 5 years $150 like Ben Simmons and Jamal Murray, Sabonis has been more impressive than both of them so far this season. A walking double-double machine and dominating on the post, not moving a whole lot, also does the little things. And setting screens to perfection, one of the highest in the league in screen assists, having 9 straight double-doubles and counting, one of the most consistent guys who excels in his role. Instead of being under his dad's shadow, Domantas is creating a basketball legacy for himself with excellent fundamentals, with a strong post presence, putting up Nikola Vucevic numbers, but more mobile and more versatile because he plays in a small market. He doesn't get talked about as much. Andre Drummond of the Detroit Pistons, wasting away on a below average Detroit team. The 6'10" center is having the best season of his career so far, averaging nearly 18 points, 17 rebounds on nearly 55% shooting. He'll end up by far the best rebounder of his generation. It's not even close at this point. Will be one of the most intriguing players entering 2020 free agency. Some teams will likely give him a max. Being one of the hardest players to evaluate, it's difficult to predict how he will impact a very good team as a second or third option. Still 26 years old, he's literally playing for a huge contract and of course putting himself in a better position to succeed for the future. Also an elite paint protector when he feels like it, doesn't always play with high energy, but a very improved back to the basket player with a nice jump hook. His offensive game still growing and slowly being more creative around the rim. Sadly, his talents and athletic abilities being wasted. Now in his 8th season with the franchise, not winning a single playoff game is an absolute travesty, and the team should highly consider trading him, otherwise they lose him for nothing in free agency. Montrezl Harrell of the LA Clippers, who's absolutely dominating for his team. Many often talks about the greatness of Kawhi and PG. As the 4th option, Trez is a nightmare for every team, putting up nearly 19 a game, 8 rebounds on 62% shooting. His pick and roll with Lou Will is a thing of beauty, plays his role to perfection. The 25-year-old continues to cook in the paint, bullies taller guys, and keeps getting better and better. Provides high energy for the team, being underrated, undersized at just 6'7" and underpaid, a huge asset for the Clippers, always doing instant damage off the bench, relentless, gets between 3 to 6 slam dunks every game, always at the right place at the right time. Despite being the 7th man, getting paid only $6 million a year is an absolute steal of all steals. The Clippers were absolute geniuses, being able to snatch Trez as part of the CP3 package, shooting over 70% from inside 5 feet. Although he's not a good outside shooter, some nights he's just unstoppable in the paint and is even the team's leading scorer at times, plays with high motor, and his play could very well be the difference maker whether the Clippers win the title in 2020. Gilgeous-Alexander of the OKC Thunder, one of the bright young pieces for a rebuilding Thunder team, putting up 18.5 points, 5 rebounds in nearly 35 minutes, quietly one of the most improved players, from averaging just 10.8 points a game a season ago. The 21-year-old's the leading scorer on his team, a primary ball handler and a #1 option some nights with long strides, often blows by defenders. Combined with his 6'11" wingspan, allows him to make tough acrobatic layups and punishing smaller guys on the post, also improving his outside shot. Drafted 11th overall in the 2018 draft, he's way better than Lonzo Ball right now, and it's not even close. Since he plays for OKC, it's unfortunate the 6'5" guard won't make much headlines. Still didn't get enough credit for being the starting point guard as a rookie for the playoff Clippers last season, but should be an all-star within a year or two. Evan Fournier of the Orlando Magic, having a career year, the 6'7" shooting guard is averaging 20 points on 49% shooting, over 44 from 3. The only reason why the Magic are relevant in the East, the Frenchman started off the summer by defeating the United States, sending them to their worst finish in international play in 14 years. Having a hungry year with Nikola Vucevic's injury, Fournier has been picking up the slack, playing for one of the worst offensive teams in the NBA. The 27-year-old is at the height of his powers. If the Magic maintain being 500 in January, Fournier deserves some all-star mention attention. Being able to stay patient with getting off good shots and finding balance off the dribble, his handles have also improved. Excelling in the pick and rolls, remaining under control is what separates him from other guys. If Markelle Fultz continues to show positive signs playing alongside his veteran 2 guard, Fournier would have easier opportunities working off screens and getting open shots, something he's also great at. Having 3 30-plus games in a 7-day span is something we didn't expect. Nevertheless, the Magic have a challenging road ahead of them. Bojan Bogdanovic of the Utah Jazz. Although the team's been disappointing, Bogdanovic continues to be one of the most underappreciated players. The 30-year-old continues to get buckets, averaging close to 21 a game, shooting 89% from the line, over 45% from 3, able to catch and shoot from anywhere. His ability to drive and make plays at the rim, combined with his unselfishness and create for teammates, is vital. Continuing to improve after signing a 4-year $73 million deal is well worth the price. Looking to become the franchise's first secondary scorer since Jeff Malone in '92 to average more than 20 points behind Donovan Mitchell, some nights it's the Croatian who takes over. It's not his fault Utah's not off to the start they expected, since Mike Conley and Joe Ingles are both shooting under 37% from the field. Come playoff time, we've seen in the past from his Pacers days what he's capable of. Over the last 2 seasons, Utah has gotten off to shaky starts. The team usually picks it up in the second half of the season. Bam Adebayo of the Miami Heat. When Miami gets talked about, everyone thinks of Jimmy Butler, and then sensational rookies in Kendrick Nunn and Tyler Hero, but their defense and overall record wouldn't be as good if it wasn't for the 6'9 center's presence. His numbers of over 14 points, 10.5 rebounds, 4 assists, 1.3 steals, 1.2 blocks on 57% shooting might not be eye-popping, but the 22-year-old's doing a little bit of everything on the floor and is also in the most improved player conversation. In his 3rd season, Pat Riley looked like an absolute genius. After getting rid of Hassan Whiteside and letting Bam start, the team never looked back. Currently a top 3 seed in the East, Adebayo's defensive presence and rotations have been making opposing teams think twice about him. Can also handle the ball and a very underrated passer, more than capable of finding the open man. When perimeter players try to take advantage of him guarding them, they often have trouble with his quickness and mobility, able to successfully contest shots, guarding 1-5 and never backing down. Can also chase somebody down unexpectedly. The only thing missing in his game is the 3-point shot, because his game's not flashy and defense isn't as eye-popping nowadays. Adebayo is slowly improving, can also win Defensive Player of the Year sometime in the future, even make a couple All-Star teams as a 2-way center. His skill set is rare in today's NBA. Fred VanVleet of the Toronto Raptors. After leaving the game against Philly with a right knee contusion, the 6'1 guard was averaging 18.7 points, 3.9 rebounds, 7.3 assists on 40% shooting from 3 his first 21 games, earned himself the starting spot after an incredible final series. 4 seasons ago, undrafted out of Wichita State, VanVleet had no idea whether he'd be able to play in the NBA or not, and heading towards free agency in summer 2020, ESPN's Bobby Marks said he heard one team thinking he's going to get between 25 to 30 million a season, which is not surprising. Perhaps one day he'll make the All-Star team the way he's playing, a great second and third option on a good team. Toronto will have a tough decision to make. Going forward, no moment will be too big for the sharpshooter, running over 2.84 miles per game, a little more than CJ McCollum. His stamina is one of the best in the league. Combined with having a shoe contract with AN1, 2019 will go down as one of the most memorable years of his NBA career. Scoring 20 a night has become very common for the Raptors point guard. Honorable mentions include Clint Capella, who's second in the NBA in rebounding behind Andre Drummond, has been a force defensively and continues to get easy buckets, finally looking like he deserved his fat contract. Malcolm Brogdon has been generating some buzz, but still doesn't get too much attention for his amazing start with Indy. Teammates TJ Warren and Jeremy Lamb have been solid as well.
Thank you so much for watching this video. I talk NBA comparisons, amazing storylines, NBA history, and anything basketball that will interest you. If you love the NBA, subscribe for more content, more great stuff coming soon. I love all of you. See you next time.